One of the great halachic anomalies of Leil HaSeder is the recitation of Hallel at night. We know the Mishnah tells us in Maseches Megillah on Daf Chaf that Kol Hayom Kasher Lekriyas HaMegillah Ulekriyas HaHallel, that the entire day is kosher for the recitation of Hallel, but we do not recite Hallel at night. The Gemara brings two possible sources for this halacha, either from Zeh Hayom Asa Hashem Nagila V'nismecha Bo, or from Mizrach Hashemesh Ad Mevo'o Mehulal Shem Hashem. But whatever the source may be, everyone agrees that Hallel is a daytime mitzvah, which therefore begs the question, how is it that on Leil HaSeder we recite the Hallel long after the sun has set? Perhaps one could suggest, based on a famous comment of Rav Haggadah, quoted by the Ran at the end of Maseches Pesachim, that the Hallel of Leil HaSeder is fundamentally different from the other Hallels that we recite throughout the year. As Rav Haggadah explains, She'ein anu korin oso besoras korin, we are not reading the Hallel, we are not reciting the Hallel as we usually do. Ela besoras omer shira, we are rather singing the Hallel. The Hallel is a spontaneous outpour of hakaras hatov, of gratitude, of joy, of praise to Hashem. Pashtus, what Rav Haggadah is alluding to, is the halacha which we all know, that b'chol dor v'dor chayav adam liros es atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa miMisrayim. That on Leil HaSeder it is as if we ourselves are right now going out, and because we're going out right now from Egypt, we erupt in gratitude. This isn't a formulaic text that we're just reciting. That's also very important. But that's what we do the rest of the year. That type of Hallel, Kriyas HaHallel, is what is bound to the daytime. As the Mishnah said, right? Kriyas HaHallel, reading the Hallel, is what you have to do during the day. But Shiras HaHallel, this spontaneous form of Hallel in a song, that has no such limitations, and indeed may be performed even at night. And perhaps that could explain, halachically, why we recite this Hallel even at night. However, perhaps one could suggest a very different possibility, which is advanced by the Sfas Emes in Pesach Tafresh Mem Daled, where the Sfas Emes tackles the question from the other angle. Right? We answered the question, how is it that you can recite Hallel at night, by saying, maybe this is a different type of Hallel. But perhaps one could suggest, as the Sfas Emes does, that maybe we could argue that the night is a different type of night. While Hallel is normally not recited at night, as the Gemara explained, this night is like the day. The Sfas Emes quotes the pasuk from Tehillim, Laila kayom ya'ir, that the night will shine like the day, in reference to Yetzias Mitzrayim, in reference to Seder night, that when Hashem takes us out of Egypt, there is such illumination that halachically we treat that night as if it's still the daytime. And that's why you're allowed to recite Hallel. Unbelievable chiddush. And the Sfas Emes even brings a very compelling proof. The Sfas Emes says, how does the Torah tell us the obligation of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, that we have to tell over the story of the Exodus? The Torah says, V'higarata levincha bayom hahu lemor. Right? You should tell your child on that day. The Torah doesn't say on that night. It says the mitzvah of Magid is on that day. Wait a second, we perform Magid at night. Right? Pesha shematza umaru menachim lefanecha. How could it be that the Torah calls it the day? The Sfas Emes says the Torah is hinting that this night is no ordinary night. This night is halachically like the day, because there is such an influx of illumination. While the Sfas Emes Kedarka B'Kodesh doesn't really spell out what the source of this illumination is, Pashtus as well as other Sfarim seem to suggest that the illumination of Leil HaSeder, that what makes it into a day at night, is the Gilui Shechina. Right? We read in the Haggadah, V'mora Gadol Ze Gilui Shechina. There was an immense revelation of the divine presence on that evening, a revelation like had never occurred before in human history. And that's what we're celebrating, and that's what we're re-experiencing every single year at the Seder on Pesach. We know that the revelation of the Shekhinah, of the divine presence, is always associated with light. Right? As the Navi Yeshaya tells us in the beginning of Perek Samech, Kumi Ori Kiva Orech. Rise and shine, your light has come. Right? The Kvod Hashem Alayich Zarach. The presence of Hashem upon you has shone. Right? And when Hashem reveals his presence to us, there is by definition illumination. And that is specifically what sets us free. When we feel Hashem's light in our lives, no matter what darkness may be enveloping us, whatever personal darkness, whatever personal shibud, we are instantly freed. V'chvod Hashem alayich zarach. And that's what we tap into on Leil HaSeder every single year, the beautiful divine illumination. And halavai this year, as we enter following a year where we do have so much to be grateful for, but also a year that collectively for Klal Yisrael and for the world saw such darkness. Halavai, we should be blessed with Ya'er Hashem panav elecha vichuneka, that we should walk into the Seder, whatever our Seder is going to look like, and be blessed to feel Hashem's light. There's some light that you see with your eyes, and there's some light that you feel with your heart. Halavai, we should be blessed to feel that, to experience that, and to the Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir, V'nizke chulanu mehera le'oro. Amen. Wishing everyone a Chag Kasher V'Sameach, a year of Besoros Tovos, and lots of light.